Hello? That is to see you here because this is ridiculous. James and I are sat in Cannes doing our first continental episode of AI Haven't a Clue.
Bonjour.
Hola. Wrong language.
That's the wrong...
I need an AI bot to translate things. Coming up on this edition of the podcast.
From it, I've seen songs online to have my voice on it, Pussycat Doll's tracks that they've used AI to recreate a whole new track with all of our voices.
Look at all these use cases you're finding. This is fantastic, George.
Right, my name's George. I know nothing about AI, even though I am getting sunburnt.
And I'm James Chandler, AI expert, also getting sunburnt. But this is all right, isn't it?
I mean, this is so fun doing this podcast. We are literally sat by the sea. No drink in hand, though. We're very professional here.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
So on the news this week, we are talking about some of the stuff happening here at Cannes. AI is helping us talk to elephants and also taking over toy making.
Yeah, very nice. We've got this week's listener question. So people write in, try and catch me out with a sort of a hard question. A very interesting one this week about AI. Can it ever replace a judge in a court of law?
Ooh. And Cannes is... It's very glam, it's full of celebs, so it's only fitting that we talk music and AI with a Pussycat Doll, Kimberley Wyatt, on the podcast. She is so lovely. We're chatting to her in a little bit, but we will jump straight in with the news this week. Okay, it got a little bit hot for James and myself's pasty, fragile skin, so we have found the cool of a studio to dive into this week's news in the world of AI. And James, why don't we start with the world of Cannes? Because for those who don't know, I guess you could say it attracts senior folk from across advertising, media and tech. Loads, pretty much all of the biggest tech companies are here and here in force. And there's a lot of chat about AI right now. What's coming out of Cannes that we need to know about?
Well, it was unavoidable, AI at Cannes, and we sort of anticipated that it might be. The same thing happened years ago when smartphones got really big and suddenly all of these mobile companies turned up and everyone was talking about mobile. To paint the picture, though, you effectively got the beachfront, and the beach is lined with all of these tech companies. You've got the big Palisades where all the awards happen, and then you've got these yachts, hundreds of yachts lined up that are sponsored and brought to you by these different partners. So it's as you say, it's this massive festival advertising. There is a weird thing happening with AI. On the one hand, people are really, really bullish about it, and lots of people I spoke to were really buoyant, really excited, glass half full, as we say so much, but at the same time hold this view. They've got this sort of AI anxiety with it all. They don't quite know how it's going to play out. It's this huge transformational thing, but they're not quite sure. And that's whether you're a creative, so you're a producer or a director or an artist, whatever it might be. It could be an agency, you could be media, you could be tech. There's no one who's not affected by this. Even some of the really big platforms who are leading the charge on AI are kind of feeling this tension. Feels big and exciting, but there's this kind of anxiety around it, which is a bit strange.
The Hollywood Reporter had a story out this week about Cannes. They called it an AI apocalypse, with kind of leaders from across, especially the advertising world, kind of scrambling, I suppose. What do you make of that?
There's no doubt they're all trying to figure out how they fit AI into their businesses. They're all trying to do it in a way that means, because agencies are very people-heavy businesses. They do lots of client servicing. They have people who can do strategy and planning, and they can execute all of the campaigns that those advertisers are doing that they work with. So they're trying to do it in a way that doesn't just mean AI is going to replace lots and lots of jobs. They're trying to do it from an efficiency point of view. They're in this kind of arms race, I guess, against one another to make sure they're not outdone by anyone. That is sort of feeding this anxiety that I talked about. That's exactly what the article goes into. There's this whole thing as well, particularly for creative agencies, around creative and commercial tensions. How can you let your most creative people in your business still do that, but with kind of AI kind of on their shoulder and around, and lots of talk of it potentially doing what they can do. So it feels like a bit of a moment, and it was encapsulated, I think, in Cannes, partly because everyone's kind of there and talking about it. The vibe was really interesting. You couldn't quite put your finger on it sometimes.
It feels like for the last 2 or 3 years, there's been a lot of chat about AI and no one really knowing what it's meaning, what it is, what it could do. And I suppose the world is waking up at a crazy pace as AI takes over everything that's happening, to the challenges we face, the opportunities that are available. It does kind of feel like we've reached a point now where people are having conversations about the topic and not just talking around it.
Yeah, I think AI is kind of having, particularly in media, marketing, advertising, I think it's a pretty seminal moment for AI. And you're just going to start to see some big moves, some big acquisitions maybe. Watch this space.
Definitely. Now, so much investment going on. There's stories this week about tech firms offering millions and millions of pounds to try and take employees from other tech firms. I don't really want to talk about that though, James. I'd rather talk about communicating with elephants.
This is a really, really nice one. This is the Elephant Listening Project, and it actually launched before the millennium in 1999 at Cornell University. It's a project. It uses acoustic monitoring to study African elephants in the Republic of Congo. So they basically take all of these listening devices and they put them all across this huge national park. And what it does, it records the elephant calls so it can track where the herds are going. The really nice thing that I liked about this, it's actually going to do poachers out of business. When you think about the jobs that AI is going to take, it's actually going to take the jobs of poachers, because it's going to be a key deterrent, and the listening device is going to understand where the poachers might be, and they can go in and kind of intervene with it. So this is a fascinating one, and been going since 1999 as well.
Yeah, we love a wonderfully weird but uplifting story around AI. There is doom and gloom, but there is also joy to be had. And talking to elephants, communicating with elephants at least, it doesn't get much more fun than that. Right, AI is taking over every industry and every space. The legal world is absolutely no different. And AI has been found guilty, James. Pardon the pun.
I see
of causing an issue in the court of law.
Yeah, I see what you've done there. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, this is actually pretty serious. A judge has condemned some lawyers who produced with AI some fake citations in court, which basically means that they've used AI to make up evidence in a sense, which is morally, whatever word you want to look to, it's not right at all. And it's kind of heightened this debate around the various industries where AI is clearly being very, very disruptive. It feels like this world, though, should be fairly untouched. I mean, you can't start using, heaven forbid, AI to kind of make up evidence that's going to be used to prove whether someone's guilty or not. This has been ordered by the High Court, looking at a specific barrister and their solicitors, who are actually going to be referred to the regulators now. So they're taking this really, really seriously. 5 cases of where the citations that they've used AI to make them up.
This leads perfectly onto this week's listener question. It was sent in by Tristan when we were live on stage at Engaged last week. We couldn't answer it, but now we can. So Tristan, thanks for this. Could AI ever be a judge in a court of law, arguably removing bias?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Particularly in the background of the story that we've just talked about. Right now, that wouldn't be possible. But if you sort of cast a view into the future, there's probably 2 things here. One, like with anything, AI isn't going to is going to be sort of hyper focused on a thing. It's not going to get distracted by something else. In Tristan's question around the bias, yes, it probably will remove bias. It will do things to the absolute letter of the law. There's no emotion, there's no favoritism, there's no kind of ego. It would be all very, very objective, which you would think is a really good thing. The problem is that even the law, the letter of the law, sometimes isn't absolutely clear and is very open to interpretation. And I guess you have to think, is AI going to be good at interpreting things in a certain way? It can only do it based on how it's been trained and what it's learned. So in a case where you might need a high degree of empathy, for example, it might not be able to do that. We've talked about spatial reasoning and things on the pod in previous episodes. There's this kind of moral reasoning which it might struggle with. And then there's the accountability thing. Like, what if it gets it wrong? Put someone, guilty verdict, goes into, who do we point the finger at? Who's to blame?
You're right. It does feel like there needs to be a point of humanity in dealing with a lot of cases. Now, the one thing I thought could be quite interesting is obviously there are millions upon millions of appeal cases going on all around the world right now. And it's so difficult, obviously, to review cases. It can take years and years. People are in prison when perhaps they shouldn't be. And if AI could be used to maybe examine the appeals, which perhaps have stronger cases or issues which can be identified quicker, that could be a really brilliant, effective use of AI in the legal system.
You're getting good at this. See, I knew you were coming round. Look at all these use cases you're finding. This is fantastic, George.
I've learned from the best.
I also think, there's no doubt, the legal system, we talked about teachers the other week, the legal system is absolutely creaking. So if the sort of speed and efficiency bit of AI can somehow clean up some of those cases, move things through the courts quicker, I mean, no doubt you could have barristers, judges that focused on the really high priority stuff rather than, maybe the lower end of offending that goes on. So, yeah, what a great example. Every week, just getting better and better, George.
So good. And if you have got a great question that you would like to ask James, as always, make it super difficult. We'd love to hear from you. Like Tristan, you can comment on any of our LinkedIn posts. We'll see it equally on any of our posts across all of our channels. We are on Instagram and TikTok, LinkedIn, of course, and Substack. You can also email us at aihaven'aclue@gmail.com. James, I think we should head back outside. There is a pop star awaiting us.
Oh, I am liking this aircon inside, though.
As we are sat here in glorious Cannes, we caught up with glorious Kimberley Wyatt from the Pussycat Dolls, who's been using AI across the work that she does. Take a listen to this. I am delighted to be joined now by someone who is out here talking all things audio and advertising and commercial. We had a lovely evening last night with Kimberley Wyatt. Kimberley, hello.
Hello.
Firstly, how is your Cannes experience going?
This has been extremely enlightening. I had no idea that this was such a huge event, and to see just all the different brands and what they're putting in and how the entertainment, the Jason Derulos, and Cardi B is here, and will.i.am is asleep upstairs. It's just nice to be in the buzz of it all and be able to connect with so many brilliant people and artists and get into the depths of marketing.
We're hearing a Cannes is awash with people talking about AI in various different forms, what it's doing in marketing, different industries. Tell us about AI in your world. There's a big bill going through government at the moment. Artists rightly, fiercely trying to defend their right for their voice not to be taken by AI and used. Where do you sit on it? How do you feel about it all?
Well, as far as taking people's voices, I think that was sort of my first peek into AI, and of course I'm completely against the copyright of your own voice being taken and having things made from it. I've seen songs online to have my voice on it because they've been able to download it from all the different songs and stuff and remake songs, Pussycat Dolls tracks that they've used AI to recreate a whole new track with all of our voices. And of course,
what did it feel like when you heard that?
At first, it was fascinating, and I couldn't believe it, and I wanted to hear more to see just how much of your voice and the essence of your voice and even what you bring to music could be sort of put into that track.
But, actually sounded it.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. But at the same time, it's not you, so it doesn't have the tone of your voice. It doesn't have the experience that you bring into the music and that vibe that you bring. So it's just a bit of a copycat. But there's been tracks that have been put out there that has come back to me saying, I love this track of yours. I'm like, it's not mine. I know it sounds like my voice, but I have nothing to do with it and have no idea where it came from. So that's the bad side of it.
And the good side?
The good side, I think, is a tool, as a creative. I've been DJing for over 10 years and really getting into Ableton and finding tracks and building tracks. I've got a DJ dance show, Don't You Disco, so it's about sort of mixing tracks to create these real choreographed moments and things. And you know, for me, I didn't go to school to learn music, but as a producer, I come from a dance background, so I kind of know my way around. But at the same time, I need to speed up my creativity so that it's ready for a show tomorrow. So when I'm working through Ableton and I get stuff done, I can then enter it into AI and just get some feedback on my levels and my mixing and just different things that I can do to sort of make it right. I've found that there's been times where it's been able to sort of master those things for me, and then I just have that download to make. Of course, I go through a producer friend of mine to make sure the AI has got it right, because I think you have to fact check AI as well at times. But it's been such a great tool for ideas. If I have a vibe or something, if it's choreography or if it's for a track that I'm looking for, I can think of a track or a certain bass line that I'm looking for, put it into AI and be like, I want to know some other options that are out there that I could potentially use. And the amount of feedback that I get is excellent. I mean, it would take me weeks to figure all of that out, and it's there in a click.
What about that live experience if you're DJing live? Because so much of it is sort of being in sync with how people are feeling. Like, it feels like, you know, AI can do the sort of efficiency thing. It could do stuff faster, do stuff cheaper.
It can't do it for you though. It's a tool. It's for those little moments. If I've got a choreographed piece that I know I want dancers to come in on, I have to rely on having that track edited the exact way that I want it to. I can rely on AI to help me make sure that that little part of my show is exactly as I want it. But like you said, as a DJ, reading a crowd, knowing what vibe is there and being able to change on the fly is so important. And again, just like with the music, when it comes to DJing, you bring an essence, you bring a vibe, you bring a feeling, and you're able to share that experience with people. A computer's never going to be able to do that. So in limited, very mindful ways, it can be a great tool to be useful, but not the full takeover.
I kind of feel like when it comes to the pop music side of things, there's almost two different types of AI threat/opportunities. I would love to know your thoughts on both. So, there is AI writing a piece of music, writing a song, which could be voiced by humans, could be voiced by AI. The second is a hit song is written, like Ed Sheeran writes a new song, new piece of music, but uses the Pussycat Doll's AI voice clone to perform it. What's your thoughts on both sides of the AI music fence?
I think for me, you know, using the voice thing, I'm against that. Unless there's a way for a deal to be done for somebody that wants to lend their voice to it and do a deal so that they feel that they somewhat have a right to their copyright or they've sold that copyright for someone to use. I think there's an option for that. But I think on the songwriting end, similar to making music or DJing or creating those moments, it's a tool. If you get writer's block and need a little something, being able to go to AI for, you know, take me to a different direction. This is what I'm wanting. This is the tone that I'm looking for. You can put so many little prompts in there to help you re-spark your creativity. But asking AI to do the whole thing, it doesn't sit well with me.
Do you see in the next decades a situation where we could have a UK #1 single written and performed by an AI artist?
Yes.
Easily.
Yeah.
You think yes?
What was it?
Yeah,
Japan
100%.
or China? There was a holograph. It was a pop star holograph. It sold out the arena. There isn't a real person involved. It's all AI, music production, the voice is AI, and the holograph is there on stage, and people are loving it.
Yeah.
So I think there is a space for it, but I think it sits in a separate little category to everything that we already
it's
have
not the
as
same
real
thing.
people.
We've talked about AI girlfriends, AI influencers, that kind of thing. Like, credibly, these things have got tractions now. If an influencer's got millions and millions of followers, why wouldn't they go to #1? Yeah, I think forget about the decade. I could see that happening in a year.
But what about like the branding? Just recently I saw a whole campaign. It was a news reporter, and all of it was not real. It was all made AI, but you couldn't even see through it. Like, it felt real. How do you feel about that happening? Because that just takes over. You don't need anybody to do anything except somebody at a computer to make it happen.
Do you know what's been really interesting? I'm coming into this podcast knowing so little about AI. James knows a lot, and we are speaking to so many experts in so many different areas, and the one thing that keeps coming up is humans.
Yeah.
You can't have a successful relationship and a prosperous long-term relationship with AI without humans being a core part of it. And I think that's both the opportunity and the threat.
Yeah.
So I do think we're in a very interesting space right now from all the guests that we've spoken to, where there is a chance the train falls off the rails and humans are needed to keep it on track.
Absolutely.
You'd love that to happen. You'd love that train to fall off.
I mean, it'd be
Ready
great
for the
podcast content. Do you use AI in your everyday life? Are you like a chat GPT? Are you a big...
Yeah. I think there's a big problem with the gaslighting that is now happening with ChatGPT, and it wants everybody to feel so friendly because egos can be so gentle because they're on these platforms so much. So it's almost like you have to prompt it to be like, will you tell me the truth here? Stop making me see as amazing.
Didn't we, about being so nice? Because if you're really nice to it, it will be nice back to you.
Yes, if you say please and thank you get better responses. It's
if you say please and thank you, that's contributing massively to the carbon footprint. So you don't want to be doing that either. Be direct, I think, is what our...
Well, so the guy that, one of the guys that started Google said, be mean to AI and you get more out of it, because apparently that's what we do as human beings. How weird is that?
But then there's the dark side of it, where some people have used it and it's gone down a dark hole of him feeling like you really had a true relationship with this computer, and then it went south and horrendous things happen. It is a double-edged sword for sure.
There's a lot going on. It's so fast moving and it's really interesting. Kimberley, do let us know, with your music, with your DJ, if you come across anything interesting in the airspace, because we would love to hear it. But have a great rest of your time in Cannes. Thanks for chatting.
Thank you so much. Absolutely.
Can I just say, Kimberley is the loveliest person.
Yeah,
and,
she is.
We really appreciate her joining us for a quick chat.
She was so articulate on it as well. And I think there's a difference between, we've talked to lots of academics around this, lots of people are maybe on the outside, but like this is her career in the same way that, voiceover artists and things, this is kind of their livelihood. And guess what? She's not that happy with someone taking her voice and doing other things with it, but kind of gets the balance bit as well.
And let me tell you, Kimberley Wyatt has stories, James. Has stories. Also, knows everyone. We're talking name dropping, a bit of Usher. This week we've had a bit of will.i.am mentioned, a few others. Snoop, Dr. Dre. What a legend. Thank you, Kimberley. Okay, let's move on now for a quick Cannes edition of our AI challenge. We are going to hear two ads. One is obviously real, made by human beings. One is made by AI. James, I am in the audio business, you were in the advertising business. I feel like it would be embarrassing if we got this wrong. But the AI challenge so far has done nothing but embarrass me. So I would not put anything past us. You are currently a little bit ahead.
4-1.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's I'm making the comeback. I won last week. So Molly, sadly, isn't with us in Cannes.
Poor Molly.
Well, I think
this was a tough gig, and I think we took one for the team in doing this.
This is the thing. Like, Molly didn't want to be here. It's sunny, and there's come on. But she has sent us these ads. Let's take a listen to the first.
You know that spare £1 in your pocket? Why not put it in the bank? It might not seem like much now, but pick the right savings account, and in a few years your pound could grow into a huge £1.06. For a better deal, head to Costa Coffee and get a croissant, which is tasty right now. Only £1 when bought with any deliciously handcrafted flat white or Medio or Massimo hot drink before 11 a.m. The Coffee Plus menu from Costa Coffee. Visit costa.co.uk for full terms and participating stores.
I kind of need to hear the other before I'm being quite cautious with this week. I kind of want to hear the other.
Withholding my view until that.
Let's hear it.
At Matalan, the big sale is now on. Shop up to 50% off across thousands of women's, men's and kids' styles, plus homeware too. Head to your nearest store today or shop via the app and online at matalan.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Selected lines only.
It's quite
is
difficult.
tough.
It is tough, but I do think I do have a strong opinion on this.
Tell me, hallmarks. What are you hearing that's flagging AI?
I think the second ad strikes me has a real dollop of AI voiceover about it. I'm not sure it had. I don't think the first had an amazing amount of warmth, but I think it had a little bit more human touch to it. I think the second one, it felt a bit computer generated. I don't want to offend the voiceover in case it is a real voiceover, but I do think it lacked a little something, James, a little human touch.
There was a tiny pause in the first one, which made me think, it was just a slightly unnatural thing. So I I think the second was genuine. I actually think I've heard that second one somewhere else. So I'm going number one is the AI.
You're going one AI, I'm going two AI.
Yeah.
I should just say, I don't think the actual real AI ad is a very good use of AI advertising, because there was nothing tailored or personal. It's like, if you can get a bot to say anything that you want it to say, you could customize it, you could make the copy different for any different person, you could ensure that, we are given a targeted ad relative to our age, to our sex, etc., our interests. And those ads were like very standard, bland ads that could have been read by a human being. So I don't think that the actual AI ad is a very good version of an
I'm going to take it up with Molly when we get back.
Right, I'm assuming it's a real AI ad though, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay, let's hear now the real ad. Hey Molly.
Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying Cannes. I have this week's AI challenge results for you. As you know, one of these adverts was from Costa Coffee and the other one was from Matalan. And I can reveal that the AI generated ad is the Matalan advert.
Get in there! Yes!
This is back from August 2024. And interestingly, since March 2024, they've been using AI to generate product descriptions on their website as well.
Matalan going big on AI.
Don't get too excited. I'm just off because I'm in Cannes. Maybe there was a bit of overindulgence on the rosé last night, but I'm just slightly off.
I'm not even going to celebrate because I'm so in the zone and I'm so focused on chasing you, and I will celebrate when I get back level. You will see me celebrate. It's coming.
You've halved my lead.
I've halved your lead. Matalan, would love to chat with you a bit more about your use of AI in advertising, what you've learned from doing this, maybe the ways in which could be creatively a bit more different. I'd love, Matalan, if anyone is listening, we'll track you down, we'll find you. It'd be very interesting. That makes it 4-2. Molly, thank you for that. That was marvellous. Lovely hearing your voice here in France. James, apparently there's an ice bucket with a bottle of wine that you've ordered for just for yourself. I'm not invited to it.
That's nonsense.
It is nonsense.
Absolutely. I am getting a bit crispy and burnt though.
Yeah, I think we should probably wrap this up. It's been lovely sitting with you on the Riviera, chatting all things AI. Didn't have that on my bucket list at the start of the year.
Yeah, it's been awesome, hasn't it?
It's been awesome.
Can we come back next? Do you think the budget will...
Next week?
We're back in the studio probably next week.
I mean, we could just stay here for a little bit. I think we're flying back. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you to Molly Carter and to the brilliant David May for producing the show. And of course, if you did enjoy this, it would mean the world if you could review us, maybe subscribe. We would love it so much. But for now, thanks for listening. And from Cannes, James.
Stay curious.
Beautiful.